Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, and the Detroit Lions just had one of the biggest, one of the best drafts I have seen in a long time, and definitely are winners. They've traded up a couple of different times and have gotten studs, almost day one starters in the 6th, the 5th round. I mean, unbelievable draft. In this video, we're going to break it all down. I'm going to break down who these guys are, what they add, and why I think the Lions are making a big come up going into next season from the NFL draft. Before we do that, I do want to let you know a more in-depth video with film review, more breakdown, will be out soon. This is just my initial reaction, so keep that in mind. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, and let's get right into meeting the Detroit Lions draft class. And also, some players won't be in here. I want to focus on some of the players nobody knows about, so keep that in mind as well. And here we go again. The Detroit Lions make another big-time acquisition to their defense. This time, according to multiple different sources, the Detroit Lions are selecting cornerback Ennis Rakestraw Jr. with the 61st overall selection. Only one touchdown allowed in 2023, over 277 coverage snaps. This is a guy that I thought would go early 2nd round, but the Detroit Lions snag him, dude. They are doing an unbelievable job in this year's NFL draft. Ennis Rakestraw, a steal. This is a steal. I thought he'd go early 2nd round. To get him at the end of the 2nd round will eventually be a plus starter. That is incredible. That is incredible for the Detroit Lions. 5'11", 183 pounds, isn't the biggest guy in the world, but ran a 4.51, is a guy who played in 9 games, 8 starts, 35 tackles, a tackle for a loss, 4 pass breakups, a forced fumble. He did miss 4 games, does struggle with injuries at times, but this guy could be a day 1 starter. He plays the game with good physicality and a competitive tilt that defensive back coaches will love, right? He's strong, but not as big or fast as teams usually like when picking within the first 3 rounds of the draft. However, he's hard-nosed and pressed and has the body control and anticipation to play sticky brand of man coverage over the first 2 levels. He's quicker than fast. He does a nice job of breaking quickly on throws in front of him with a well-timed challenge to knock the ball free. He intercepted only 1 pass during his college career, which could be a concern, but although sometimes the best corners in the NFL aren't the ones that draw so much interceptions, they're the ones that put a guy on an island and say, yeah, he's not going to get thrown the ball too much. I think that's the potential he has. But right away, he's going to be a good backup with the eventually will be a good starter in the NFL in the right scheme. I think Detroit is the perfect scheme. He's highly competitive, great toughness, uses well-timed punches and slaps to disrupt the catch try, salty and run support, willingness to wrap and lift ball carriers. This is a guy that wants to do everything to win every single possession, right? You look at Detroit and what they've done so far in the draft. You talk about a guy in Terrion Arnold, the day 1 starter, and now Ennis Rakestraw. You have Mekhi Robertson. You lose Cam Sutton in the offseason due to whatever happened, right? Guys, this team is going to get physical in the secondary. They're not going to be afraid to tackle. You had Carlton Davis, a Super Bowl champion. They are doing the exact right things that they should be doing. Last year, ranked number 31 in pass yards allowed per game, 22 in sack percentage, 10 in interception percentage, and 30 in yards allowed per pass. I think this defense just got a whole lot better. Wow, and the Detroit Lions do it again. They trade up another time in the draft, and this time get probably one of the best players left on the draft board in Makai Wingo, a defensive tackle out of LSU, according to Jordan Schultz. This is another big pickup here for the Lions, a guy who kind of screams, strength, potential, power. This guy is going to be good for the Detroit Lions in a couple of years. In this video, we're going to break down everything you need to know about Makai Wingo, what he brings to the team, and why I think he could be a pretty good player. Now, before we dive into that, do me a favor, Lions fans, hit the like button just so we can get this video out to more Lions fans, but also subscribe to the channel if you're new, join the family, turn on post notifications. We will be covering the Lions throughout the entirety of the offseason. Now, let's get into the video. Makai Wingo is a 6 foot, 284 pound defensive tackle out of LSU as a junior. Now, in the 6th round, you're getting a good backup right away with the potential to develop into a starter. Guys, this is insane. The fact that you can get a potential starter in the mid 6th round is unheard of. 82 combine score for athleticism. 74 overall, was the 7th best defensive tackle in the combine. Guys, this dude is insane. In 2023, played 8 games, 7 stars, 25 tackles, 5 TFLs, 4.5 sacks, battled a lower body injury early in the year, missing the end of the regular season after having surgery. So obviously, a little bit injury riddled, but still had a very productive season in just 8 games, right? Was a team captain, a leader, awarded the number 18 on his jersey given to a team leader. I mean, this is something you want to see. He was a round 4 projection, and you get him in the 6th round. The Detroit Lions are killing the NFL draft once again. Gotta love this pick. Wingo is a shade undersized, but his tape is fun to watch. He's compactful, he is powerful, with the ability to separate and play off a lateral block quickly. He can be overcome by length or mass at times, but is rarely dominated. A guy you want on your football team, right? Hustles to beat the blocker to the spot, uses his hands and power to work across lateral blocks. Good bend. Get that up screen. Above average reactive athleticism, experience rushing off the edge expanded his skill set and process, a lateral quickness and leverage create rush wins into the pocket. Guys, this is a guy who I don't think will be a day 1 starter, obviously, but a guy who has potential to be a starter, and he's going to learn from DJ Reader, Marcus Davenport, Ali McNeil, Aiden Hutchinson. Not only does he have some great veterans to learn from, but this is a guy with more potential than you would ever think coming into the 6th round of the NFL draft. A guy who can help the sack percentage go up, but also stuff the run as well. This is the dream fit here for the Detroit Lions with Makai Becton. I absolutely love it. And this is huge. I think he can play either that DN role. I think he's not going to play that nose tackle. He's not big enough to play that. But he's going to learn greatly from Ali McNeil and Marcus Davenport. I think this guy's going to be a stud in a couple of years from now. And to get him in the 6th round, it's not even fair. But with that being said, Sione Vaki is an athlete out of Utah. 5'11", sophomore, very young. Now, didn't really have too many expectations coming into the draft. Honestly, people didn't think he was going to be drafted or 6th or 7th round prospect, but he's a guy I think could be really, really good, right? In 2023, was a finalist for this award, right? The College Football Player of the Year and the Paul Hornung Award, which is the most versatile player. Started 12 games, had 42 catches, 317 yards, 7.6 yards per reception, and also 2 touchdowns rushing, or I think this might be rushing, I don't really know. 51 tackles, 8.5 tackles for loss, with 2 sacks, an interception, and 2 pass breakups as well. Yeah, so this is rushing. He was mainly a running back, but also a DB as well. Talking about a guy who can play both sides of the football in the NFL potentially, right? Productive tackler with a nose to the ball in coverage teams. I think he can be a special teamer right away. He's also below average athlete, but I think he's someone that has all the tools, the IQ to be a really good player on defense, but also I don't think he's going to be too much of a running back. I think he's mainly going to be used as a defensive player, but you never really know. If you just want to throw him in there every once in a while, especially in preseason, let's just see what he got, right? Comes to balance and make himself wide as an open field tackler, patient to launch tackles or tackle tries only when he has target locked in. He's got heavy hands when jarring punches into blocker attempts, works eyes from quarterback to route as a split safety. So again, you talk about a guy who most likely won't come in here playing running back or wide receiver, but a guy who will come in here playing a lot of DB. You need a backup safety, and this guy will immediately be your 2nd to 3rd best bench safety right out the gates. I think this is a solid pickup for a Lions team who, quite frankly, needed to get better in some of these areas. Number 30 in yards allowed per pass, 31 in pass yards allowed per game, 22 in sack percentage. Obviously, that's, needs some more coverage sacks, right? But I think this dude, Sione Vaki, is a guy who has versatility. I do like the pickup. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next Lions video. Wow, a very interesting pick here in the 4th round of the NFL draft. The Detroit Lions had Giovanni Manu at the top of their draft board and actually trade up to go get him. A guy who has not played too much football, played at the University of British Columbia. He's an offensive tackle who has massive size, 6'8", 350 pounds. We're going to talk a little bit about Giovanni Manu, what he adds and what he could bring to this team. I don't know too much about him, but we're gonna figure it out together. Before we jump into the video, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family. We'll be covering the Lions throughout the entirety of the draft period, as well as OTAs, rookie minicamp, training camp, preseason, regular season, everything you can think of, we've got you guys covered. So with that being said, hit the like button, join the family, and let's get into the video. So Giovanni Manu, of course we're getting ad here. He's a guy who is out of University of British Columbia, an offensive tackle, the most unique prospect in the 2024 NFL draft. The reason being, he ran a 4.96 40-yard dash, right? Yeah, you might say that's not too impressive. However, the man is 6'7", maybe 6'8" on better days, 352 pounds during his pro day. This dude also had a 33.5-inch vertical. You talk about potential. This is literally potential to its max, man. This is a guy who has been highly valued around the NFL draft, went to 11 pre-draft visits, and was obviously going to be someone who was going to get drafted. We didn't know when, because he was a guy who hasn't played too much football, but a guy who just has outstanding type of buzz. This is a guy you want on your football team. Now, we don't know too much about him, so I'm not going to sit here and just make up lies about what he has. He has height, he's got potential, he's got insane strength for his size, and he's got good athleticism as well. You bring him into a team who has a really good O-line, and you could help develop him right away. Penei Sewell, Kevin Zeitler, Frank Ragnow, Graham Glasgow, Taylor Decker. This is a developmental piece that could end up being a really good player down the line because of what he brings or what his athleticism has and his skill set overall. I think this guy could be a really good player with the right development, and this is a perfect team to get him with all these good offensive linemen. What a good pick. Obviously, at the top of their draft board, the most important thing in football is protecting your quarterback and getting to the opposing quarterback. They've done both this offseason, bringing in Davenport, DJ Reader, Kevin Zeitler, and now this guy in the NFL draft. I love it. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next Detroit Lions update. Peace.